Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for yet another LinkedIn Live session. Happy first day of December. We've made it to the last month of the year. And today we are going to talk about learning to rank. So learning to rank is something that at Empathy we're working on as an open innovation initiative. So we've got a working group focused on LTR. And today we're going to hear from Oscar Huarte, our Semantic search lead, and Leticia Amores, our Open Innovation Director, and of course, Angel Maldonado, our CEO. So today's session is going to focus on the judgment and evaluations part of LTR. Okay, so in future sessions, we will cover other aspects, other topics within LTR, but that's going to be the focus for today. So let's think about LTR as autopilot, like self-driving search, right? Self-driving cars can't be on the market until they've been thoroughly tested. You're able to trust them. You know they're not going to run people over. You know that they're going to understand the situations, the rules of the road, everything that has to happen, and it's an enjoyable experience for the person who chooses to use it, right? So the same goes for learning to rank. If we're not doing it properly, if you can't trust the service, if you're not able to understand the what and the why behind it, and it's not enjoyable, then it doesn't make any sense to be using it, right? So the way we see it is that LTR really needs to be connected to digital empathy, right? That trust, understanding, and joy that we always talk about, because that empowers merchandisers, analysts, dev teams, and ultimately customers, right? At the end of the day, whether it's e-commerce or another type of search that you're using, your goal is to empower your customers. So if you can't empower them with trust, then it's a waste of time. So that said, Oscar.
Thank you, Jordan. As you say, in learning to run, we use machine learning and AI models to run results on top of search engines. This is great because we can improve the quality of the ranking in automated fashion. But and also, it's important to take into account we need to control the performance of the model in terms of the quality ranking. Is when we need to use our evaluation framework. And then we build different datasets to verify the quality of the ranking from different perspectives. Related with this topic, we are very focusing to resolve the problem of the evaluate ranking when we have a lack of data or are not available in terms of user interactions. Normally, this problem is solved by contracting an external company to label data manually. But with the arrival of the AI, we can automate this kind of processes, and this is incredible. Let me show the internal API we will generate for relevant labels using our AI model based on Mistral. About this, I have a question for you, Angel. Angel, sorry. Do you know something about Mistral?
Let me find the silence button. the mute. Well, I know a fair amount, but thanks to you, Oscar. But what I love about Mistral AI, is that as a European-based initiative with, under EU governance, has delivered under a PAS 2, the highest open source license, an incredible potential. And in the same way, we have been reluctant to tap into other generative AI and or LLMs that don't have that quality of governance and the adherence into EU regulations. We feel very comfortable with Mistral. So yeah, that's a little summary I can give you.
Okay, thank you for the feedback. So let me show you the API. This API is a prompt template with the typical rating instruction, and we can measure the relevance between the query and the content. So this prompt, we can set up, for example, a query, and also we can add several content, for example, for this web, Farfetch. And this is magic because, for example, give me a try. Let me, 1 second. Okay, this is running because we need to wait some seconds because it's running in our test environment. But only we need to say to know is this model running in CPU? Okay, it's in our test environment, and also we are using a custom version of Mistral. This trained with OpenOrca dataset. I don't know if you know something about OpenOrca dataset, Angel.
Well, that's a very, very important question you throw in right now. An opportunity for anybody who is watching this to go to data provenance, provenance, you know, as it, you know, the origin or the earliest known history of something. Provenance is the beginning of something when it comes to exist. So data provenance is .org is this initiative. Cohere, MIT, many other institutions behind. We adhere through the Ethical Alliance to this effort as well. It's incredible. You have all the data sets, you have all the models that people are contributing, and you can track their provenance, their origins, their referenceability. And Orca is there. You know, Orca is synthetic data generation. You can look specifically to all the usage and executions that Orca has had. So that gives you as a developer an ML operations perspective and the imperative of the responsibility when you scale these things into production. That's a little insight, but all this we know thanks to data provenance, and to encourage people to look into it. Of course, we'll share the link in there.
Thank you, Angel. Thank you.
So one more thing. Of course, these guys built a train on top of Mistral, and in some use cases they have found better results even, right? So it's a very good consequence of the release on Apache 2 of Mistral, yeah?
Yeah. Oh, thank you. And so we have the response, and let me to do this. Magic. It's incredible. We have the response with the score, the perfect score for the relevance level. So I think should be better if Leticia show us how we can use this data generated by Mistral in our product. Do you want to take the control, Leticia?
Sure. Thank you, Oscar. And hello, everyone. Over the last weeks, we have been experimenting with Mistral AI, and we are exploring many use cases related to learning to rank and offline evaluation. So today, we will show you a prototype integrated in the space of what you see is what you trust, to generate explicit feedback, manual and automatic, and connected to evaluate the search engine offline. So let's start with manual explicit feedback. Let me share the screen. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Perfect. So as you can see, the experience is really simple. We have 10 products associated with query cookies. And all we have to do is make decisions about the relevance of each product in relation with the query. So let's try it. We have mini chocolate chip cookies. So we have to provide feedback. Is it relevant, not relevant, or very relevant? In this case, I think it's very relevant. So all we have to do is click on very relevant. And we also have a drag functionality. Let's try it with this new product. In this case, I think it's not relevant. So we just have to drag to the left. So we have to make decisions one by one until we complete all the products for the query. For example, in this case, ice cream, I think that can be relevant. Just that, this is manual feedback functionality, but let's now test the automatic feedback. So we have to click in this toggle. In this case, we have the interface connected with Mistral AI. Oscar has previously shared in the demo the response. So when we activate this toggle, the feedback is automatic. When we have the feedback on all the products, we can check them to validate if we are agree and we can change the feedback. So this is just a small piece of offline evaluations, and we will share more details in the future. Here we have an evaluation of a data set with a list of queries. So when we click on one query, for example, let's go for organic, we can see the relevance of the products and the labels of the evaluation metric that Mistral has generated. So what you see is what you trust team is already implementing this explicit feedback functionality, and Hugo, Andreu, Antonio, Jonathan, and Lucia are doing an incredible work collaborating with Oscar and Learning to Rank working group. So next Friday, we will show you the progress at this time live on LinkedIn. So join us to follow the evolution. Back to you, Angel.
Thank you so much. And, you know, for the people who connect or are watching the recording after, this is open innovation. So this is something that we build in public. And today, Friday, we show you the designs of the explicit evaluations human judgments tool and how these can be extended through the inclusion of the automated explicit evaluations as well. Also, building in public means that Oscar's working group on Learning to Rank showing how they are starting to integrate Mistral in our testing environments. So, you know, it's building in public. And under OI and open innovation, we invite you and anybody. We have many partners, many clients who collaborate in these open innovation initiatives under open privacy, open relevancy, or open explainability. So that's one point. The second point I want to make is that, you know, AI is not what we think of it. It's not like what Oscar or Leti or myself or Jordan or anybody who is in the industry thinks of it. AI is what the people who interact with it think of it. That's it. And in this case, we're talking about a merchant that we want to empower as opposed to disempower. So it's very important that we elicit trust. And by applying digital empathy principles, as Jordan has reminded us, trust, understanding, and joy, we long for that elicitation of trust, which can be the key to unleash the potential of any advancement, be it AI or whatever. You know, if there is no trust, it's not going to happen. So that's the focus. How can we transform these advancements, add another element of panache that evokes that beautiful, powerful feeling of trust? And this is what we try to do when we expose this automation and turn it into an experience that can be understood, that can be trusted, and can be enjoyed. So with that, Jordan, I pass it to you. Thank you so much. And of course, we have another iteration on this next Friday.
Yeah, thanks, Angel. And thank you, Leti and Oscar. I think that was a really interesting way to introduce what we're doing with LTR. So, you know, it's just a sneak peek. There's a lot more. And as Leti already told you all, next week's session will be on what you see is what you trust. So stay tuned because that event will pop up in your feed pretty soon. So you might get an invite. And we hope you'll join us for that as well. And, you know, have a great weekend and enjoy some more of Las Grecas before we leave.
And happy December. Yes.
Yeah.
Las Grecas.
Let's go.
Thank you so very much. Thank you indeed.